Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Capital W Mentoring Series. I'm Dr. Stacey, your host, and I'm excited to bring professionals of various mortgage industry roles who will share their wealth of experiences, insights, and recommendations from their own mentoring journeys. If you know Capital W Collective, you know our commitment to education in the capital market space. And in this series, we'll discuss the impact and importance and the power of mentoring, no matter your role in the industry, educating you on what to do to elevate yourself and feel empowered to lean into mentoring. And today I am super excited to have someone whose energy level is like way beyond anything I even bring to the room. And I know I have a lot of energy, Ms. Laura Escobar. Laura, thank you so much for joining us today. We're excited to have you as a part of this series and to be able to do this interview with you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. First and foremost, this is one of my favorite topics. So energy is here.
Awesome. Well, for anybody that's been living under a mortgage industry rock who doesn't know who Laura Escobar is, would you share a little bit with our audience about your journey, Laura, and who you are, what you do, and then we'll jump right into the questions we have.
Absolutely. So I've been in the mortgage banking industry since I was very, very, very young. So I've been in the industry more than 40 years. I know, you can't tell, right? I know, it's impossible. But yes, and I've been blessed from starting as a receptionist all the way through underwriting, post-closing, title, blessed with origination, every single position you can think of, I've done. And currently I am the president of Lennar Mortgage, the subsidiary of Lennar Homes, one of the largest home builders in the nation. And I am proud to say that I am currently the chair of the MBA Mortgage Bankers Association.
Okay, so first of all, I've just got to share with the audience, the very first time that I encountered Laura Escobar was at an Empower event. And when you walked out on stage, I thought, oh my gosh, this is a person that I need to follow. I need to know her. I need to follow her. I need to listen to her because you are that picture of what many of us women who come into the industry think that's where I'd like to be, but I don't see anybody who looks like me there. And there's Laura Escobar. So I couldn't be more excited to talk about mentoring and how important the power of mentoring is. So I think we just start at the top. When you hear the word mentoring, what comes to mind for you?
I think the first thing that comes to mind is I think of people making connections, people growing, but most importantly is people learning to be your authentic self. Mentoring isn't just, Stacey, about sharing knowledge. It's about helping someone discover who they are, how they can show up fully in their career, not just in their career, but in their life. It's a space where both people grow. The mentee gains skills and confidence, but the mentor gains fresh perspectives and renewed energy. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely makes sense. Regardless of which side of that relationship you've been on, if that's not been your experience, there's some fine tuning to do. But absolutely, 100% agree with that. So, can you share a personal story about a mentor who impacted you early on in your career?
Oh, absolutely. I got a lot of stories, but I'll tell you one or two. The
Okay.
first story that comes to mind is in my career is I had a really tough boss. He had a good heart, but he was really, really tough. He would give me practical feedback and he taught me how to look at my job in new ways. So I
Mm-hmm.
remember once I was really brand new to the role. It was a management role. And I thought that I was being like way super productive. So I came in really, really early. Like I would come in at 6 o'clock in the morning, print out all of my reports. Remember when we printed and printed and printed?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
All my credenza, all my reports. And I'll never forget, I was so proud of myself because I knew I had been up to all hours of the night. I knew everything on all of those reports. And I remember when he came in and I said, all right, ask me anything. And he said, you're being ridiculous. Of course, he didn't say ridiculous. He said stupid, but I'll use ridiculous.
Sure.
And he said, you're wasting time. What's going to move the needle as a leader for your people? How will you help your team by reviewing all these reports? Stacey, for me, it was a game changer. It wasn't about staring at reports. It was about being there for my team, finding out what they needed to succeed, which in turn, I would succeed, right? And another time, Another time I was really passionate. You can't tell, I know I'm really subdued. And I was
Right,
really
right.
passionate and I was sharing opinions and going on and on and on because I tended to do that. And he said, Escobar, you have one mouth, two ears. Okay, got it. Those were huge words of wisdom that stuck with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you something about us. I'll tell you a really good story. I used to, when I didn't know I was mentoring somebody, I'm going to call this lady Mary.
Okay.
Mary came to the United States from Pakistan. She was in an arranged marriage and she was quiet. She was reserved. She worked as a receptionist for me, but she was so hardworking, never spoke up for more pay, never spoke up for more opportunities. All she wanted to do was do her job to its fullest and care for her family. So one day I found her crying at her desk. Her children were being bullied at school and she was helpless. So I'd been telling my boss for a while about all of these situations, but yet how amazing and intelligent she was. And he kept saying, do not get involved. There's a cultural difference. You can't get involved. And it didn't sit right with me.
Mm-hmm.
So her and I started meeting every month outside of work to talk about where she was, where she wanted to go, and how she needed to get there, right? So I helped her transfer her kids to the school where they can thrive, the same skill that my kids were in. And I asked my kids to oversee them to
Yeah,
make
yeah.
sure they were good. She went back to school. She earned her MBA, was doing amazing. Fast forward, her husband passes away at the young age of 39.
Ooh.
This lady was prepared. She
Mm-hmm.
took over the company business. She is now a building contractor. Her children are thriving. She's completely a different woman. And she says to people across the country that I was her hero and her mentor, that I saved her life. But the truth is, she taught me just as much about passion, dedication, perseverance. Mentoring is like that. You never know when you'll be the mentor, when you'll be the mentee, or when you're going to be both.
Wow, what an incredible story. But all those stories are incredible. I mean, for the lessons that you learned early on in your career that helped you really uh, separate from that shotgun approach, but to rifle in on the things that were really important to being a productive leader, but becoming a great active listener. I mean, those things
So important.
really led you to lean into that receptionist that was on your team. I get it. There's a cultural difference, but we're all humans. And that
Exactly.
compassion and that empathy, I mean, that just seems to lean into why you might believe mentoring is so important in business and in life. So tell us about that.
Well, as you can see with Mary, it changes lives.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's in obvious ways, like helping someone get a promotion or guiding them through a career change. Sometimes it's in quiet ways, like giving them just the confidence to use their own voice.
Mm-hmm.
Mentoring builds leaders, it strengthens organization, but it creates ripple effects that you may never fully see, Stace. When people feel supported and challenged in the right ways, they rise higher than anyone thought or even they thought was possible.
It's amazing too, because you're talking about mentoring that's not necessarily formal. Like we have a one-on-one time for our mentoring time. You're talking about mentoring as a part of every
Life.
interaction. It's a part of everyday life. So when you're mentoring someone today, what's your approach?
Oh, well, I start with listening, as we spoke earlier. I start with listening because everyone's journey is different and unique. So I'm really interested in finding out about your goals. I want to know about your challenges. I want to know about your strengths. So from there, I'm honest, sometimes brutally honest, but always with the intent of helping my mentee grow. I focus on action. Mentoring isn't just about talking. It's about creating opportunities for that individual to step into something that stretches them.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the real growth happens. One of my favorite quotes, I'm not sure who first started, I'm sure you've heard it, is if it scares you, it's a sign that you need to do it. I share it often because the best growth happens when you're a little uncomfortable. I
That's right.
want people that I mentor to lean into those moments, not shy away from them.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Yeah, your greatest success is just the other side of fear.
Amen.
So at finding the way to step into that power that you have to take that first step and move forward. That is the essence of mentoring. And I love that all the way through this, you're talking about how both parties in that relationship really are growing and becoming better. They're stepping into a better version of themselves. I love. So for those of us in the audience who want to be a great mentor, what best practices would you share?
Be present. Give your 100% full attention. I mean, phones down, and that is really hard. Emails closed. Be honest. Sugarcoating doesn't help anybody grow. This is not a friendship. You are not their therapist. Follow through. If you say something or you say that you're going to make an introduction, I see this all the time. You say you're going to make an introduction or share a resource, do it. If not, don't offer it and don't mention it. Empower. Don't solve it. Give them the tools, not just the answers. And lastly, I would say celebrate progress, celebrate growth. Growth is hard. So recognition keeps people in the game. It keeps people striving to go and keep going.
Now, what about somebody who has a mentor? How do they get the most from that relationship?
Come prepared. Know what you want to talk about. Be open to feedback, even if it stings, because I'm telling you, reality stings. And most importantly, I would say act on the guidance that you receive. Mentoring not only works when you apply what you've learned, it's so very important that you continue on and that you apply it.
I love that. And I think oftentimes people get into those relationships and they think, oh, I'm going to get a mentor. And that means that person's just going to pour into me and give me all of this. And it's all about what I'm going to gain, but they don't see the obligation or the responsibility they have to come into those conversations prepared. Just like you said, I mean, how's your mentor supposed to know what's going on up here or in here unless you're sharing it? How are they supposed to guide you and give you practical skill building if they don't know where your opportunities lie? So you definitely being prepared, but also being really honest with yourself, I think is super important to come in that conversation.
Absolutely. And it shouldn't be a long, lengthy relationship. That's when friendship starts. And that's when we start being fake with one another, especially with me. With me, people that come to me, they want me to be their mentor for the wrong reasons. I want to be as passionate. I want to be this. I want to be that. And it's not them. So when I hit them hard with who are you and where do you want to be when you grow up and what's your strength and what's your weakness? It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Aren't you going to tell me what to do and tell me how to be that person? No, I'm not.
You're right. That is so important for someone to really be there because as you mentioned in the very beginning, mentoring is about helping someone step into their authentic selves, to be genuine and and in my world, I say step into your superpowers. How are you going to take those strengths that you have and build upon them? Stop beating yourself up about the things that are weaknesses. Find someone on your team that can fill that gap, but really step into your strengths and share that with the world. You can't be like everyone else. We can't all be our Escobar. So if you could leave our listeners with one piece of advice about mentoring, what would it be?
Mentoring is about legacy. It's not about creating someone in your image. It's about helping them become the best version of themselves. So figure that out. If you've had someone invest in you, pay it forward. I am so big on paying it forward. The impact will go further than you can ever imagine.
Wow. Okay, so normally when I wrap this up, I summarize and give like 3 key points. There are so many good points in here in this conversation. I'm just going to tell our entire audience, now that you've gotten this far in, go back and rewind and watch it all again. Take some notes. Really think about what it is that you're doing, how you're stepping into a mentor relationship or a mentee relationship, and what it is that you're trying to achieve by stepping into those relationships. Are your expectations realistic? Are you showing up? Go back, read it. I'm telling you, every single one of these questions that we just discussed, there are nuggets of gold that you need to take in, reflect upon, and then act. So I just want to say, Laura, first of all, thank you for being here and being a part of this interview series and helping us really dive deep into the power of mentoring and what that means to you. We so appreciate your insights and your vulnerability to be here today.
I am so thrilled to have done it. Count on me anytime you'd like.
And a huge thank you to the MBA for their support for what CapitalW Collective is doing in the capital market space to educate, elevate, and empower women in that space, but certainly to build a community of allies that are helping all of us to be just a little bit better version of ourselves. The collaboration with the MBA has been unrealistically, I just can't even find the words to say how much we appreciate and how much our group is growing from that collaboration. And we're excited about continuing forward.
Fabulous.
All right, folks. So on behalf of the fantastic Laura Escobar, CapitalW Collective, and MBA, we thank you all for being with us today. And we look forward to seeing you at another Power of Mentoring series interview. Take good care.